Have you ever thought about what it takes to be successful? Why is it that so many people in this world have achieved so much, yet you feel like you're just stuck in the same place? Well, in this video, I'm gonna share with you the one secret to all of their success. What's up, y'all? My name is Danny Wynn, and welcome to So Real TV. And today, I want to talk about the importance of consistency. Why we need to be consistent to succeed in life. If you look at all the high-level, most successful people in the world, all the high-achieving people, what is it that they're all doing that we're not doing? Is it because they're much better than us? Is it because they're smarter than us? Is it because they're more athletic than us? You know what, for the most part, some people might be more genetically gifted than us in certain ways, like athletes, for example, like basketball players, they might be taller, they might be stronger or whatever. But for the most part, a lot of these high-level achieving people, it's not that they're much different than us. So what is it that a lot of these successful people are doing that we're not doing? If you analyze all these successful people, it's not that they're doing anything drastically different than us, but what they are doing is they're being consistent. They're showing up day by day, doing all the small little things in life, doing all the small little mundane tasks, all the small little actions that seem very insignificant for the day. However, over a period of time, over many years of time, there starts to have a compound effect, right? If you don't know what the compound effect is, the compound effect is essentially small little actions, small little mundane tasks that seem very insignificant. However, over time starts to have either a positive impact or a negative impact. Here's an example of the compound effect on a graph, right? If you look at this chart, right, it's the first 10 months, 20 months, even 27 months, you don't really see any results, right? And the graph, the chart represents a curve, right? So the straight line represents the small little mundane tasks that seem very insignificant. The ones that the little tasks that seem like they don't matter, but they do matter. You see, all these little tasks that you do on a day-to-day basis. In the beginning, initially, you might hit 10 months, 15 months, 20 months, and you're like, damn, I'm not getting results, right? But see, that's the compound effect in full effect right there. That's what the compound effect is. It's all these small little actions, all these small little choices that we make on a day-to-day basis that seem like they don't matter. However, over time, it starts to have a compound effect. Everything that we do in life could either have a positive impact or a negative impact. You see, we're all successful. But the thing is, we could be positively successful, but we could also be negatively successful. If you're overweight, if you're fat and overweight and you're unhealthy, you see, you're successfully overweight. It's just that all the small little decisions that you made on a day-to-day basis led up to you being overweight, led up to you being fat, led to you being unhealthy, right? And whether you like it or not, the compound effect is affecting your life every single day. It affects your health, it affects your wealth, it affects your relationships, it affects your accumulated knowledge. You see, knowledge has a compound effect to it too. Investments, money has a compounding effect as well. In personal finance, there's an example of a penny that doubles every single day, right? In the beginning, it seems like it's very insignificant, right? The first day, boom, we have 1 penny. Second day, 2 pennies. Third day, 4 pennies, and then 8, and then 16, right? Initially, it doesn't seem like much. However, by the time it hits 31 days, that 1 penny that seemed like it didn't really matter compounded into over $10 million in cash. That's the power of compound interest that impacts you when it comes to investments, when it comes to finances, when it comes to investing into the stock market, right? But a lot of people don't realize that there's a compound interest, there's a compound effect in everything we do in life. Working out, going to the gym, eating healthy, eating unhealthy, not going to the gym. You see, everything we do in life has a compound effect. Like initially in the beginning, it might not seem like it matters. However, over time, when compounded, it does matter. And if you ever look at the Grand Canyon is the result of millions of years of water going through the rock, right? The Grand Canyon moves about that much every single day. And this amount seems so insignificant, right? Seems so little. However, compounded throughout millions of years, the Grand Canyon turned into what it is today. It's one of the great wonders of the world. And see, that's a very physical representation of the compound effect. Everything we do in life has a compound effect, whether you realize it or not. So there you have it, the one secret to all these people's success. It seems easy to do, right? It seems easy. It's so simple, right? So what seems to be the problem? There's 3 reasons. The first reason is this. It's a lesson that I learned from Jim Rohn, right? It's so easy to do. The mindset is so easy to do. What's the problem? It's easy not to do. It's easy to reach for an apple. It's easy to wake up and read 10 pages a day. It's easy to go for a 10-minute walk. But the problem is, it's easy not to do. It's easy to be like, oh no, it's not gonna hurt me today. It's not gonna hurt me right now. It's these small, seemingly insignificant tasks that seem like they don't matter. However, compounded over time, they do matter. You see, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. All the greats, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Elon Musk, all these high-level achieving people, we all have the same amount of time in a day. It's just that they show up and they do the small, little mundane tasks that seem very insignificant. They seem like they don't matter. But the fact of the matter is this, they do matter. Compounded over time, it does matter. The second reason is that the results are invisible. The things that create success in the long run, in the short run, it doesn't really seem like it matters. Reaching for that burger, reaching for that cheeseburger or Big Mac today, it probably won't affect you much. It probably won't affect you tomorrow, right? However, compounded over time, it starts to have a negative impact on your life. Reading 10 pages of a book today, of a great book like The Slight Edge, of a good book like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, of a good book like Psycho-Cybernetics. You see, 10 pages a day probably won't change your life today, probably won't change your life tomorrow, right? However, compounded over time starts to have a very big impact in your life. If you switch out 10 minutes of just scrolling through social media, mindlessly scrolling, double tapping on IG, if you switch that 10 minutes of scrolling through social media with just reading 10 pages of a good book, that will impact your life drastically in 10 years. It probably won't affect your life today or next week or even a few months, but over 5 years, 10 years, if you consistently read that 10 pages or read 10 minutes a day instead of going through social media, that will have a very positive impact on your life. So the third reason why people are not successful is that all these little things, they seem insignificant. Most people live their lives without grasping the power of the compound effect. You see, we're all successful. It's just that we could be positively successful or negatively successful. It's those small, seemingly insignificant things that we do on a day-to-day basis that impact our life. The difference between success and failure is not dramatic. It's not something crazy or out of this world. And it's not sexy. It's so subtle and so mundane that most people seem to miss it. And a lot of people, they're not successful because they have the wrong philosophy. They might think, oh, me eating a cheeseburger today, it's not gonna matter. Or, oh, me not going to the gym today, it's not gonna matter. But the fact of the matter is this, it does matter. Those small little, seemingly insignificant things that you do on a day-to-day basis, they do matter. Waking up, going for a 10-minute walk, does matter. Waking up, reading 10 pages a day, it does matter. Meditating for 10 minutes, it does matter. You eating that cheeseburger or Big Mac instead of eating an apple or instead of eating something very healthy, it does matter. It doesn't seem like it matters up front, right? Because you don't see any results. You don't see any significance. However, compounded over time, it starts to have a positive or negative impact on your life. So how am I applying the compound effect to my life? You see, right now, my goal is to put just one video a week, right? I'm just putting one video on YouTube a week. It's easy, right? It's so easy to do. It's easy not to do, but I'm committed. My goal is to put one video a week, put it on YouTube, and see where it goes in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. Who knows? Maybe my channel might blow up. Who knows? And check back in a year or 2 years or 3 years and see if my channel blew up or not. Will this video age well? We shall see. But you see, I'm applying the compound effect to my YouTube channel right now. I'm just gonna put one video a week, and I'm gonna do this every week for the rest of this year, right? In a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, Who knows where my channel might be? Maybe it'll still be at the same amount of subscribers. Maybe it won't. At the time of this recording, I have less than 1,000 subscribers. I think like 980 at this moment. Maybe in 2 years, 3 years, maybe it'll be like 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. Who knows, right? But you see, I'm applying that mindset. I'm applying the compound effect into my YouTube channel right now. And if you want to apply the compound effect into your life, this is how you do it. Make a small goal that you can stick to. Like for me, it was 1 video a week. That's easy for me to do. But for yourself, pick a small goal that you can stick to. Don't make it drastic, don't make it crazy. It's the same reason why a lot of people, they fail their New Year's resolutions. A lot of people, when they start their New Year's resolutions, they try to set this big, massive goal, and most of them fail. Why? Because they weren't able to keep up with it. First of all, you make a small goal that you can stick to. It could be reading 10 pages a day. You see, reading 10 pages a day, it's easy to do. It's also easy not to do. Or you can set a fitness goal of going for a 10-minute walk, right? It's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. But the thing is just to do it and stick to it. Because once you do that 10-minute walk a day and you do that every day, initially it doesn't have a big impact. However, over time, it starts to have a compound effect. Over time, that 10-minute walk might turn into 20 minutes. It might turn into you jogging, it might turn into you doing calisthenics. It might turn into a bunch of other things. You see, it starts to have a compound effect over time. Pick something that you can stick to. These small, seemingly insignificant things that you do will have a compound effect, will have a drastic difference over time. Now here is a clip of one of my favorite quotes from Will Smith.
This one year, my father had his shop, and he decided for whatever reason that he wanted a new wall on the front of his shop. So he tore down probably about 16 feet high and probably about 30 feet long. He just completely tore the wall down, and my brother and I had to dig a 6-foot hole. We
for the foundation.
For the foundation. And we would mix in the concrete by hand. Yeah. A year and a half. We were building this wall for a year and a half. Every day after school, we would come and mixing concrete, putting it in the hole, doing it. Yeah. And it was just myself and my little brother. And I remember standing back, looking at that wall saying, there's going to be a hole here forever. A year and a half later, we laid the final brick. Yeah. And my father stood back and he looked at me and my brother and said, don't y'all never tell me that you can't do something. And walked into the shop. And I learned very young, you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. Yeah. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. And soon you have a wall. Yeah. And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that I have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. It's always one brick.
Me too. I mean,
everything that he just talked about in this clip, that's the compound effect. Right there, he just said it in a different way. You see, you don't set out to build a wall. He was like, you say, I'm gonna lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid, and soon you have a wall. Boom, that's the compound effect right there. All right, y'all, so that's it for this video. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. Apply the compound effect to your life. Be consistent, show up every day, do the small, little, seemingly insignificant things in your life, and your life in a few years will have a dramatic difference. All right, thank you guys for watching, man. I'm out. Peace.